You're listening to the Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net. freedomtalkradio.net. The Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net.
All right, we're back, and it's Saturday, the 18th of April 2015, from the home of the Christ, Brian Lennon. Brian Leonard, Go Lightly Marshall, BLGM, Blugum rhymes with Tugum, for all the children out there who might be listening. All right, babe, I know you have nothing today if you left it all up to me. I jest. He's got something.
Well, it was just that I woke up. Or I shouldn't say I woke up. I woke up much earlier than that, because I was figuring something out, which comes in a little download here and there, nothing really important. But the timing was rather 7:19 and 21 seconds, which...
this was this morning. We're lying here looking at the clock.
The star directly above was Capricorn 24, and it was at a height of 88.88 degrees. So... that's when I spoke to you about it.
Yes.
I'm watching the clock up on the thing. Right?
Yes.
And I explained, I suppose, what needed to be explained, because there's no scholar on earth who's ever even tackled this remotely and got it, even if they have tried. But they're all Jews just trying to do it. A Jew can't do it.
No.
It's like mixing black paint into white paint.
One dot.
One dot, you not go white paint no more.
That's right.
So one Jew corrupts it. That's it. So it doesn't matter if they were Jews and they converted over. As yet, there hasn't been any.
No.
So it's all to do with Cain and Abel, Adam, Eve, the soul, and the math that goes with it. And of course, once you understand the math is perfect. You can't change it. This is the whole point. Like 1 and 1 is 2. Sorry, it's not 3. It'd like to be. Some people might like to make 3, compound interest. However, 1 and 1 is 2. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6.
Now, with the Common Core curriculum, they're trying to change all that in the USA.
Of course they are.
Making it very complicated.
They brought in a thing some years ago when Rihanna was going to school, called Bob Math. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It fell over, anyhow, whatever it was. Yeah, so, if you'd like to bring your little lovely self around here, I've got it up on the screen on my small computer.
Right.
And you can look at that. Would you like to do that?
I will. Can I read this letter? Because it's always the backdrop and it's always the dig and the exposure.
I worship the ground you walk on. As a matter of fact, I was looking at you the other day, standing by the pool table, and I thought it was a very attractive piece of ground you were standing on.
You had this inclination, bend down and kiss it?
Well, I'll just follow you around and kiss where your feet have been.
Yes, I often at the pool table turn around and take a shot and he's right there. It's like, I have to push him aside to get the cue back to him. Anyway, no, thank you, Adam. Adam has said hello, Adam Yates, this morning. He sent me
You never got on to what I do you? As you
know
go
he does
through with your
that.
tool, as you
Yes.
make the shot, I just touch
Yeah,
the end of the cue, and you don't even feel it.
No.
And
All
it
right.
puts it off, so you
Yeah.
miss, right? Oh, that's good,
right.
mate.
Okay. All right. So Adam Yates sent this.
Do you think I'd really do that?
No, I don't. A letter. Thank you, Adam. Let me start all over again. Hello, Adam, and thank you for this letter that was sent to him. He said it just popped up. It's dated June the 1st, 1928. It's from Baruch Levi, letter to Karl Marx, La Revue de Paris, Paris. Okay, quote, "The Jewish people as a whole will be its own Messiah. It will attain world dominion by the dissolution of other races." We just talked about the black speck in the white paint forever ruined the white paint. This is what it is all about. By the abolition of frontiers, no more borders, the annihilation of monarchy, hello, and by the establishment of a world republic in which the Jews will everywhere exercise the privilege of citizenship. In this new world order, the children of Israel will furnish all the leaders without encountering opposition. The governments of the different peoples forming the world republic will fall without difficulty into the hands of the Jews. It will then be possible for the Jewish rulers to abolish private property and everywhere to make use of the resources of the state. Thus will the promise of the Talmud be fulfilled, in which is said that when the Messianic time is come, the Jews will have all the property of the whole world in their hands. Boy, are they in for a great big surprise.
And how long ago was this?
1928, June the 1st. And of course, it's come to pass, has it not? Talmud, Judaism, the serpent cult.
Pharmaceutical corporations poisoning all the food, chemtrails,
Yeah.
polluting every
Doctors,
known
lawyers,
religion.
real estate agents,
Every religion is polluted.
bankers, banksters.
That is why I say, when they say to me, "Look, Lord, what I've done in you and I," and I'll say, "Fuck off.
I never knew you."
I never knew.
Now, so moving right along to something that the Jews cannot possibly do or possess. They do not have the intelligence. And intelligence
See,
is love.
love is hand in hand with intelligence. Wisdom is hand in hand with intelligence. So there's your trinity. You've got love, intelligence, and wisdom all together. If you think of something evolving and it becomes intelligent, the more it becomes intelligent, the more it realizes that evil is something that can't be comprehended by super intelligence. You've got to get man to do it for you. And that's the problem. Free will. Biggest problem in creation is free will, but you can't have people made in the image of God without knowing what evil is.
Yes.
Right? So if you want to go along the way of Pakistan, right? What they do over there to women that step out of line, no matter what religion you are, they'll kill you.
Well, it's
Muslim.
It's Muslim.
India,
2%
different.
Christian. That's right. They withheld the invasion. It's only
They fought it off.
yes, and is why the British got rid of the Sikhs. You see, the Sikhs were the stronghold against Islam.
Yeah.
They fought to the death because they refused to take the 1, 2, 3, offered 3 deals and we'll let you live kind of thing. They refused. They raised up and their armies stopped the infiltration, but not Pakistan. That has, and yes, we've just been doing some research due to a communication, what has been going on there, and the way that women are dealt with, stoned, or rather their brains bashed with bricks because by fathers and cousins and uncles, etc.
What? Yeah, it did.
Because some man has raped her and she's no longer the pure vessel. And of course, this too, it's the Pakistan men in the United Kingdom, these groups that have been stealing children, raping them, raping white women. Anyway, that's another subject.
It's true. Now, I'm going to set this up for you, darling.
All right. Okay, guys, I see that... hello, Rodney and Kashmir. Yet I'm moving around to the other side of the table, so this is way more important than anything you've got to say, Kashmir. Sorry, we know what the problem is, so I want you to listen to what Yah has revealed this morning as I read it for the world. Okay.
It's not that important, but...
Well...
I like it.
Okay. The Shroud of Turin. I'm just reading it as Yah has written it. I haven't edited anything or...
Now, why would you want to?
Oh, totally. The Word of God with sausage fingers and all. Okay, major conspiracy. All right, the Shroud of Turin. It's a major conspiracy to deny the truth, capital T-R-U-T-H. These are the facts. Now, this is what you've prepared.
I started to do. Let's get some. It's going to be a bit all over the place, like I do.
Yes.
Because quite often. I'll be on doing something and then I'll have another bit of, well, I've got to sort of try and work that in, and then I've got to consider how advanced my listeners or watchers are. And I'm trying to teach, and teaching is an art which I'm not good at. Right? I'm like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
So I sort of go and smash everything to bits and go out and say, well, go assemble the pieces and you'll work it out.
Yeah. And
but I have tried to do my best here.
All right.
I can't change because I'm an old man with grey hair.
And it's written in stone. It's written in the stars.
So just bear in mind that it may be a bit all over the place, but I'm sure my little sweetie pie here can...
All right, so bearing in mind, too, that this we want to go to those who might not have heard the news or the rumour in the world.
I want you to think of it that when this is uploaded, we're going to have it with what Pierre has done and others, and put this beautiful combination of my face and the Shroud of Turin and how it's flipping back and forwards and fading on one over the other,
yes.
And what the Pope actually seen, which convinced him
yes.
that I am Christ.
Yeah, right, okay.
Although he didn't say Christ, he said Jesus, didn't he? Well, whatever. There's a difference between...
Salvator Mundi.
Salvator, that's
yeah, that was his
There's a difference between Christ and Jesus because it's timing.
Yeah.
When you're a baby, you're called Kuchi Kuchi by your
Right.
mother. When you get older, the father says, hey, bastard. So there's two names for the child. One is older than the other. When the father calls you a bastard, he probably knows that you are. But when the mother, she don't care, it's the little sweetheart baby.
Right.
Before that, it was the thought of having the baby.
Yes.
This is where the lust comes in. So what the father thinks is what the baby becomes. So the soul of the father is passed through to the mother, and the baby is reflected in the soul of the thought of the father. If he thinks great love, beautiful things, the baby will reflect that. If he thinks lust, pornography and all that bullshit, then the child will inherit that. Believe me.
Yes.
That's how it works. So.
All right. Starting again, the Shroud of Turin, a major conspiracy to deny the truth. These are the facts. Pope Benedict XVI owns the Shroud. He recognised a man in Australia as Christ. After being sent the video you can view later in this presentation, he uploaded an apostolic letter to the internet announcing Christ is back and he has met him. This man is the most royal man alive. He has revealed the face on the shroud is not Jesus. It is the soul of God the Father on earth. This man today. The soul of Jesus was Jehovah, the Creator, within the blood. Jesus never said he was coming back. He said the Father will send the Comforter. He, Christ, says all churches are of the Jews, they of the devil. All churches are Babylonian, Idumean, false, Jewish, Khazarian puppets. No Jew today has any right to the Holy Lands. Jesus was not a Jew. He was an Essene of British-Irish lineage. All churches, being Jewish, Talmud, Torah, will fulfill prophecy of Matthew 7:22 and 23. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. This indicates he as the Comforter, God, Jesus, and is Christ, the Trinity, is predicting he, the Christ, will be on the earth. The shroud is made from 2 pieces of cloth. The shroud was the tablecloth of the Last Supper. The shroud is a photograph of God the Father, and Jesus was the Son of God, not the Son of man. Now, turning to the parable of man and woman, Adam and Eve. What is a parable? The word is numbered 49:12 and is moshal, apparently from 49:10 in some original sense of superiority in mental action, properly a pithy maxim, usually of metaphorical nature, hence a simile as an adage, poem, discourse, byword, like, parable, proverb, and of course it is mashal. Adam, son of God, equals Adam made in the image of the father and mother. Flesh, male. The blood, female. Out of the side of Adam, the blood, female, became wife and is Eve. Adam sins, allows the female soul Eve to be seduced by evil, the serpent. She begets Cain and Abel. I want to clarify this. There are those who are finding writings, etc., saying it was the serpent who went in unto. No, Adam fell. Adam sinned. It was his own evil, the fallen nature now, as Adam. He went in unto Eve and begat Cain and Abel. That should be spelled A-B-E-L. The firstborn equals evil of the serpent, which came from Adam. Female soul corrupted when Abel, the female blood of Eve, was not corrupted. Are you hearing the distinction here? It was not a sexual intercourse with a serpent snake. It was Adam after he fell.
Well, the penis is a serpent.
He became the lower man. Adam, smaller a, no longer capital A-D-A-M, but A-D-A-M, lowercase.
The only time Adam is referred to with a capital as righteous is when he's in a sleep.
Right.
When he is caused to be in a sleep. And then Eve is taken out via they've mispronounced it as being a rib, but in actual fact it's the blood taken out the side of Adam. As in the spear going in the side of Jesus.
Everything is a prophecy and a parallel to be played out in later times. Cain, female soul of the serpent, Lucifer, evil. Abel, again wherever you see that, it's A-B-E-L, female soul of Eve, good. Cain murders Abel. Now, here we are referring to the blood of Jesus, identified as AB, plus EL, which is God. So Jesus' blood, AB plus God equals Son of God. L is God and is numbered 410 in Hebrew. 410 reading. El or Al, shortened, especially the Almighty. The blood on the shroud is A, B, and L equals God. Now Abel's blood, AB plus L, cries out to the Lord from the earth. Mankind, so it's representative of mankind, and equals no Jesus or comforter. So the Lord replaces Eve's murdered son Abel with Seth. So now Seth is the flesh of Eve, but the soul of God, and that is the lineage to Jesus, equals the Son of God. Jesus is the flesh of the Virgin Mary, or in brackets Eve, plus God, L, and is the A-B blood type. The Son of God equals Eve, female blood of Adam plus God equals Seth. Seth lived 912 years. 912 is the average age of the patriarchs. Christ was born January the 11th, 1944 at 2:22 a.m. The Garvin Institute in Sydney, Australia, has recognised and told him he has 3 unusual chromosomes numbered 3, 4 and 13. 3413 is the number for Michael the Archangel in the Greek concordance. So here we have a formula. You've got A plus B. Now we're reducing these to numbers. You've got A plus B plus C plus D plus M. 3 is C, D is 4, M is 13. A, of course, is 1, B is 2. So when you add them all up, they total 22, which equals the birth length in inches of Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. It is also the number of letters in the Hebrew alphabet. Let's look at what happens when you multiply 1 times 2 times 3. So these are all the letter values. 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 13 equals 312. And what is 312? It is the simple gematria for Brian 44, Leonard 69, Golightly 115, Marshall 84. Add them all together, totals 312. Abel's blood, AB, is 1 plus 2, which equals 3, or 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 equals the Father. 3 plus 2 equals 5, which equals the Father. 32 equals angel. 3 times 2 equals 6, and in Greek is Abel. Are you getting the drift here? Hebrew 6 is Obad, a primitive root. Lose oneself, by implication, to perish, destroy, destruction, plus not escape, fail, equals murdered by the older jealous brother Cain, which Eve, in her innocence, conceived Cain, by the man of low degree, which is Adam, lower case. Reading Genesis 4:1. And Adam, which is 120 in the Hebrew Concordance, that's capital A, knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. So this is Eve's innocence. Cain is thought by Eve as an ish, but he is the first murderer of the evil thought of Adam. Now, the word man in the Hebrew dictionary is 376 and is ish, contracted for 582. And it's a man as an individual or a male, often adjunct to a definite, the first man, a term frequently not expressed in translation. Also, another, any man, a certain plus champion, consent, each, every one, fellow, foot, husband, man, good, great, mighty man, he, high degree, him, that is husband, mankind, none, one, people, person plus steward, what man soever, whosoever, worthy, compare 802. So Eve in her innocence thought Cain was an ish, a man of high degree. But Adam's first sexual intercourse, he is an Adam, lower case.
They've already been sinned and cast out of the garden, so therefore he bears the sin.
Yes.
And therefore, as a sinner, he is now a man of low degrees.
Yes.
And is of a serpent cult.
Yes.
It's
So,
yes. It's the first Jew, if you like.
Right. So there is the 120 in Hebrew. It is Adam, lower case, from 119. Ruddy, that is a human being, an individual, the species mankind. Another, hypocrite, a common sort. Low, man, mean of low degree, person. He had already sinned, falling from Adam, capital A, lowercase d-a-m, which is numbered 121. And Adam, the name of the first man, also of a place in Palestine. Continuing reading and quoting, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, capital A, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Now this is Adam, capital A, dictionary 121, the same as 120, the name of the first man.
Should say in the rib is a marrow, and of course that produces the blood.
All right, now moving right along. So that's the big deal this morning.
That's it. That's what was revealed this morning. The star above was in Capricorn, and 24 at a height of 88.88 degrees. Well, for a period of 823 minutes.
Right. Now, this part of the PowerPoint, have we read this before? Or you did yesterday, didn't you?
Well, a little bit of it.
Part of it? Right.
But you can go on a little bit because it is interesting.
All right, I will. Okay, so now moving along.
We're going to sort this all out and spread it out and see what we're going to put into it.
All right.
But I'd like the listeners, because they're the faithful, to understand
right.
that this is how I do it.
Right, now this is moving right along to the Shroud of Turin, authenticated by 24 scientists in 1978. It was concluded by many scientists that there was an actual photograph of Jesus on the burial cloth of Jesus. This was a major setback for the New World Order. Then came the counter-move sanctioned by the Antichrist Freemason Vatican in 1988 under the authority of John Paul II. Now keep in mind he was a Jew via his Polish mother. He was elected October the 14th, 1978, filling in the vacancy after the murder of John Paul I. By divine coincidence, the new Pope was too late to stop the STURP, S-T-U-R-P, scientists, which had begun its investigation of the sacred relic. The investigation had begun August the 27th, 1978, when 200 scientists working in shifts around the clock, concluding 5 days later on October the 8th, 1978. Keep in mind this was during the reign of John Paul I, who was murdered on September the 28th. He was elected 33 days earlier on the 26th of August. Now, in order to date the shroud, a sample was taken from the bottom left area where the shroud had been repaired after the fire, December the 4th, 1932, and the carbon-14 dating. The protocols were set up by the STURP scientists, which required 3 samples to be taken, but only one was, and then it was cut into 3 pieces. Now, moving along to April the 21st, 1988, then on October the 13th, 1988, Freemason Cardinal Ballesteros announced the results. Although the tests were proven to be a conspiracy, ignored, the media flooded the world. Okay, so the conspiracy of it was ignored and the media...
Also, the sunrise, the sunset was 666 minutes per hour.
Right. And so, headlines, fake, the age of the shroud dated 1260 AD, plus therefore a fake. Later it was revealed the tests were backed by 25 businessmen, which rewarded the labs with monetary grants. One received $1 million, or pounds, was it?
Pounds.
Pounds, yes, I've got dollars, but pounds, okay. Since then, no documentary has revealed the truth of what the image on the shroud actually is. The following photograph is the negative image of the face of the shroud taken in 1898, but revealed the shroud image itself is a negative. Then when developed, revealed a positive of an old white-haired man. There's a white beard, white hair, just as the skeptics had said. The original cannot be a negative image, otherwise Jesus was an albino when they know Jesus died at 83 years of age. Pope Benedict XVI was sent a photograph and video of a man who is the most royal man alive, king of all Europe and United Kingdom. The video follows shortly. His face is identical to the old man on the shroud. This man had presented Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II a proof of claim to the throne on June the 14th, 2010. The following is the claim. Legally, she had 21 days to refute the claim of a man who announced he was Christ. After 21 days, she had not made a counterclaim and legally became acquiescent, meaning she admits he is Christ. The following slide is the cover page, signed and witnessed by a Crown Notary. The shroud revealed the image of God the Father, not the body of the 33-year-old Jesus. At the point of death, Jesus had been so brutally treated, he literally bled to death on the cross. But as he had one earthly parent, 23 XX female chromosomes and one Y male chromosome, the male being God the Father, making Jesus the Son of God. There is a great deal of difference between the Son of Man and the Son of God. This was one of the reasons why the demons in the so-called Jews were referred to as the sons of Cain. John 8:44, the first murderer, quoting, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." The Bible has many errors. Referring to Jesus as Son of Man is wrong. The correct term is Son of God. One could say the scholars had a problem. They being Freemason, some of the dialogue had to be retained. We see one is Matthew 4:3-9. Why would the ruler of hell, the earth, offer Jesus the kingdoms of the world? He wanted God to worship him, Lucifer. Reading Matthew 4:3-9, quoting, "And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Jesus saith unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again the devil taketh him up to an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, And these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. I had a thought then about your crashing the logging truck.
Yeah,
this was fulfilled now.
Crashing onto the rocks, nothing happens.
That's right, but he answered and said, It is written, Then the devil taketh him up to the holy city, and saith unto him, If thou shalt be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Well, this is what happened with the logging truck. The angels bear him up bodily out of harm's way into the light. The big happy, G'day boss. Sorry, you've got to go back, only you can do it. The oh shit moment. Well, in the meantime, the logging truck was being smashed to pieces.
Right.
So it was in this time. And the same with the kingdoms of all the world. It was not the timing. It's all about now, right? Okay. So what then does the shroud, white-haired old man reveal? The soul of Jesus left him from the cross. The soul was in his blood. Taken down from the cross, Jesus' lifeless body was taken to the new tomb. It belonged to his uncle, Joseph of Arimathea, the vastly wealthy merchant who was a member of the Sanhedrin, and owner of vast tin and copper mines in Cornwall and hundreds of ships. It was where the mother and father of the Virgin Mary lived. It was customary for the relatives of the executed to be given the body for burial. The shroud had been purchased by Joseph and was used as a tablecloth for the Last Supper. Being Essene, it was customary to place various flowers around the plates and food. A small napkin was available for drying fingers after handling prepared food. All were vegetarians. This is why recent tests found flowers and pollen imprinted in the shroud. Reading John 20, verse 7, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself. Now this is a quote about the pollens found. Some 96% of the 28 flower species identified on the shroud grow between Jerusalem and the Qumran caves. And for the radio listeners, we're looking at the flowers on the shroud. Thank you. And there's another.
Well, the flowers are on the first small point.
Yes. Yes, you can clearly see that the flowers were on it first, for sure. Totally. And here we go to the slide. We can see the flowers were on the shroud before the image. In the photo, the face and head are on the flowers and on top of the head as well as of the shroud, which was the tablecloth at the Last Supper. The negative image as an original. And the next slide is what Pierre's negative image became the positive on May the 28th, 1898. The old man.
Let's go with him now, alright?
Okay. There it is. The old man. The flowers all around. And yes, on the cloth before the image. As said, Jesus was not a Jew. He was an Essene. The Essene community were in Qumran, the area of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and Carmel, where the town of Nazareth is today. Hence, Jesus was a Nazarene. The word Nazarene in Greek concordance numbers is the same as Israel in the Hebrew concordance numbers. Reading from Matthew 2:23, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets. He shall be called a Nazarene. In Greek 3478 and Hebrew Yisrael 3478. So Jesus is Israel, not the Jews. They never were and they never will be. The blood on the shroud is a positive image against the body and is real blood, while the image is on the other side away from the body, burned into the outer layers, not against the body. I, the Father, in the blood of my Son Jesus, 23 XX chromosomes and 1 Y chromosomes equals 24 total. The blood left my body from the cross as my blood flowed out in all directions from the crown of thorns, the scourging, the nails, and the spear in my left side, up between the 5th and 6th rib, into my heart. Then the image my soul passed through from the spiritual into the physical body, to burn the cloth flat on the stone. The front side is longer, following the contour of my body, but there are no flat pressure points. Therefore, the soul of Jesus is the Y chromosome, leaving from the cross to return into the tomb to pass through the cloth. It leaving the image on the outside of the cloth, not the side against the body. All experts have not realized the blood from the wounds are a positive image on the side of the cloth against the body, while the flowers and image are on the outside. For this reason, the spear wound is shown on the right. However naive this observation is, the Romans knew which side of the body a human heart was. Today, the experts who dominate are mute, none answering emails of these facts. Why? The photographer in the Shroud team in 1978 is the leading spokesman on the subject and has the oldest Shroud site on the internet. he is a Jew, one of the chosen people in his own words. His name is Barry Schwartz. It's actually O-R-T-Z.
Schwarted.
Schwartz.
You can pull that picture down if you like. Just click on it. No.
Pull it down? What do you mean?
The cursor here.
Yes.
On the picture. Pull it back down to show.
Oh.
Go back again. You're such a silly sausage, you know.
Back up?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's it. What happened? Go back
You
up.
did the same as I did.
Go back up again.
Well, just click up. Here. Right. Okay.
Why isn't that coming up?
I don't know.
Oh, bugger it.
All right. All right. And that's a repeat of the one we've already seen.
All right.
Okay. Now, so now we're moving on to the napkin. This is the napkin, sudorium of Oviedo, or face cloth, used in the Last Supper to wipe one's fingers after serving food. There does not appear to be any flowers or pollen, yet was used by Jesus to wipe his hands after breaking the bread and serving the men and women at the Last Supper. Hey, we'll have to reinstitute that practice, babe.
There may be pollen on it.
Right.
Because it's in the proximity of the flowers on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the pollen is something that when you move flowers about, the pollen floats in the air.
Floats around, yes.
So there could be pollen on it, but there certainly would be breadcrumbs.
Right. Just as there breadcrumbs left on your chest after you have to. Yeah, anyway.
But I never ate any breakfast without having crumbs all over, you know that.
They will serving men and women at the Last Supper. They will examine it and find bread particles embedded in its surface. Yes, nowadays it's his hairy chest. Now, reading from Matthew 26:26, and as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." Verse 27, and he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, "Drink ye all of it." Then verse 28, "For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins."
Why is that so? The sacrifice of animals cannot shed any sin from anyone.
No.
By taking a priest, cutting the throat of an innocent lamb, and having the sin of that person placed into the blood of the lamb, so the stupid god of Lucifer cannot see the sin in the blood of the lamb. How dumb is that? So, in order to do away with the Old Testament, that's all of the Moses laws, that's what it is. It was replaced by the last sacrifice, Jesus.
And Christians today revere the laws of Moses because they say it was the teacher leading unto the grace of the final sacrifice by yourself, when that's not it at all. It was to reveal the stupidity of their laws, not to be revered but to be cast out.
It's secret religion.
So reading verse 29, "But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine." So we're talking about the fruit we're talking about grape juice. "Until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." That's today. He is the Father today. It's upon the earth when we'll...
I don't like alcoholic wine, so don't send me any.
Yes. When,
I do take PayPal, so don't worry about that.
Speaking of which, oh man, that dude yesterday with the koinonia, the Jew.
Oh, that bastard.
The 6 million, what was it?
Yom
Shoah yesterday, and his 6
million
million in one paragraph grew to 11 million in the next, and you keep scrolling down through the article, and then there's all these press for donation buttons and commitments of your tithing to supporting Israel, and oh my God, it's vomit material, spew. Alright, so the
one smart man.
One smart man, all
Can't
right.
find out when he was born, something wrong there.
The Father is the soul of Jesus in his blood. This means he was not the Son of Man as per the Bible. He was the Son of God.
You know, we said we was going to send over a letter to his wife to cure her of her cancer.
Oh, I sent the message.
Okay, it's in an email I got this morning. She's cured.
Oh, good. Yeah, right. That's interesting.
Suddenly.
Yeah, right. It's no, she's been undergoing chemo. I mean, they're on about the bull. You bet. I bet she drops dead pretty soon. It's all BS. Because her story was.
Well, they got a list of people that's been cured of all these terminal diseases and little things like.
Yeah, through prayer.
Like a runny nose or something. That's also cured that as well.
Yeah.
But this is early tithing helps.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why they get blessed and they can cure all these people with terminal illnesses. It's all bullshit. And make it up as they go along.
Yeah.
His wife is dying.
Yes. And
I was she going to be cured?
Yeah, no. And I mean, they were pleading for prayer because she was having to go through one thing after another. So now he's saying that he's the one that's not been around because reading her ministry, whatever, she talks about, Chuck will be home. So he's been away a lot longer. And she's been undergoing this chemo and radiotherapy and all kinds of things. So, BS.
What's Chuck? Chuck up.
Chuck, spew. Oh, I just said spew.
Chuck up.
Chuck up. Anyway, so moving right along to the napkin. The area is 690 square inches. It's 33.07 inches by 20.86 inches or 84 centimetres by 53, which is 44.52 square centimetres. 69 is Jehovah equals God. Online there is a site with the pseudarium of Oviedo laid out with a pointer so we can measure any 2 points. This is what you were talking about yesterday.
We're going to say 2 bloodstains which you can compare. To measure. I haven't done it yet. I will do it. But by the time I do that, there's another 2 days work in that.
Yeah.
And I try to make as many uploads as I can, but this thing here which we're reading is nearly 300 long.
Right. Okay. We did cover this yesterday, so I'll skip right along here and we'll see if there's because the new material.
The point is, it's absolutely the same blood type. It's absolutely the same configuration of the stains of the blood. It's also positive blood in the photograph, it's known to be in Oviedo. Is it Oviedo? Spain, 600 AD.
Oviedo.
They've got paintings of it that put the same shape.
The face cloth, yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yes, the full length is 840. So the measure. This is when Yah did that random measure. It came up as 1067. And
I wanted to say that because this is how I operate. I do things spontaneously. I look at the numbers. Although I made an error in that case, it was an error because I was just looking to see how it worked.
Yes.
And I pushed the cursor across to see how it would. And when I stopped, took my hand off the mouse, it revealed that number.
Right. So in Greek, 1067 is, or rather in Hebrew, is firstborn, and it is Greek of Hebrew origin, 1516 and 2011, a name or the state of everlasting punishment, hell.
Right.
He came into
firstborn
hell
of God in hell
to set the captives free. So the Sudarium of Oviedo has been in Spain since 600 AD, and here it is. These are the blood stains and the measuring that Yah did, and its dimensions, etc. Okay, now, so the length by width of it, 840 by 530 times 2 is 2740. The perimeter, 2740 in Greek, kausis is be burned. From 2745, KO, light, consume, kindle, burn, light, hello. The feet, 10.787401, that's in feet, 10.780401, that's in square feet, is it?
No, just around.
The perimeter is Greek, Genesis, nature, generation, nativity. Its diagonal in feet is 3.2586189. 6189 in Hebrew is uncircumcised. Hello, we talked about this yesterday. 3258 in Hebrew is to grieve. The Gospels report Jesus was a Jew and circumcised on the 8th day in accordance with the laws of Moses. It also reports Jesus was the Son of Man. As an Essene, Jesus was not circumcised. As the shroud and face cloth See, circumcision is the mark of Cain,
That's
is it
right.
not? As the shroud and face cloth were used during the Last Supper, the same idea was seen in the cloth draped over the early church altar. The church changed Vatican I, replaced it with Vatican II from 1963. It took 3 years, allowing the Jews to dominate the church, followed by Freemasonry. Now here's Barry Schwartz. He dominates Shroud information, a Jew. In the next slide is the Shroud image on the left. On the right is the man Pope Benedict XVI, recognised as, in his words recorded in his apostolic letter when he wrote, then was uploaded to His Holiness Facebook page. Later, Francis, who had been elected Pope after the recognition by Pope Benedict XVI,
Draw your
of the Son of
attention to
Christ.
what you said earlier. You will put all of your people in positions of power over everything. And the most powerful position in the world is the Pope.
Is the Pope.
They've had Jews in there and homosexuals all the way through.
Yes.
And now we've got this monster that tears the babies out of the wombs of mother
Exactly.
and smashes his head, almost as what they're doing in Pakistan, right? It's
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah, there's no difference. He has sworn the oath to do that. So this, of course, is the Antichrist, who is Francis.
That's right.
Has to be Francis, is the
Well, he
most
denied
powerful
me, right?
position on the earth.
Well, he denied me
Totally.
to the Pope.
And I actually wrote this to Petra this morning because she had a bit of a revelation, which was just all about this.
She did.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, just that Francis replaces, and she talked about the position of Benedict. Yes, the Antichrist the Christ is it. He is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. There's no higher. He is it. He's God, for God's sake. Right? It's really quite simple. So the one that opposes him has to be in that position on the earth that can oppose him. That highest position upon the earth is the Pope. Like it or not, Protestants, it's him. And is the reason that the Antichrist today is not any other joker on the earth. It's Francis. He has denied, so he stands in opposition, anti to the Christ.
Well, he was given the evidence.
He was given it all. He was
by a
given
Pope, Benedict, and he said, no, I don't believe it. This man cannot, he has not come.
Right.
This Australian,
He denies
Yeah.
the coming of the
And he
Christ
mocked
in the
me.
flesh.
You mocked me as being an Australian. There you go. I'm getting on to Paul Hogan about this.
Funny accent. I couldn't understand the funny accent.
He should bloody talk.
Who can understand him? Anyway, here we go. And of course, it all resulted in the taking hostage of Pope Benedict and the kidnapping of Father Giuseppe Fellow, Sister Maria Della Rosa, and Father Monsignor Rossini. And then the report to us that Giuseppe had been shot dead on April the 13th, 2013. The 2-year anniversary 5 days ago from today. Now, here we read in Matthew 27:20, but the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. Now, Barabbas, Greek dictionary, 912, and of Aramaic origin, son of Abba, Bar-Abbas, an Israelite, Barabbas, son of the father. It was his nickname. Now, 5 is Abba, of Aramaic origin, 2, father, Abba. So on the left we have the negative, on the right the positive, showing the white hair of the 71.71769-year-old image of myself today, the father.
28th of September.
On the 28th of September. So that's your age from birth, but from conception, it was December the 23rd, 2014. So Lucifer's demons must carry out subterfuge and is why the labs were handsomely rewarded after their test results were announced. Either way, the test was a fraud which has only one explanation, that the shroud is genuine. But once announced, of course, the media hype has been relentless. It's a fake, it's a fake. This brings us to how universities are dominated by the Jews. A professor must do as he is told. And so we have many Shroud videos on YouTube denouncing it was a fake based on the false tests carried out. The average viewer is not smart enough to dig deep, and so when the word is said it's a fake, that's it. I've been explaining the Shroud for decades. It was only a few months ago that the original leader of the 1978 team, Mr. Jackson, announced the Shroud has a strip of linen meticulously sewn down one side, almost indistinguishable. So here we go again into the large piece, 171 by 39.5 inches, and the smaller piece, 171 inches by 3.5 inches. And the smaller piece has an area of 598.5 square inches. The larger piece has an area of 6754.5 square inches. White beard, white hair, just as the skeptics had said the original cannot be a negative image, otherwise Jesus was an albino when they know Jesus died at 33 years of age. Reiterating. Alright, so back to the cross. Death on the cross, the blood loss, and soul has gone. In the tomb, the shroud, which was the Last Supper tablecloth with the flowers on the table, now folded in the tomb, waiting for my body. Nearing the Sabbath, 6 p.m, the shroud is laid out, and my body laid on it. Rigor mortis had occurred. No blood. The storm had washed and cooled my body. No bleeding. In the tomb, the open wounds were congealed, then make a blood stain in the shape of the wounds. The stone, which was 13 feet 2 inches in diameter by 2 feet thick, was rolled and fastened with a 2-inch thick spike in the wall and sealed. The guards were placed guarding the tomb, a demand of the priests to insist my followers would steal away my body and say I had resurrected as I had warned I would, and we read of that in the account of Pontius Pilate last week. At 6 p.m, no time to prepare my body. The women had to leave and could only lay the shroud over my body. At that point, my soul, my father, was gone. But where? To the future, to be conceived 1910 years later. Then the resurrection, April the 5th, 33 AD. Here's the body in the tomb. You have seen this before, it is already uploaded, but good revision. Light entered the tomb. The Father flowed through the shroud, burning the outside of the cloth, passing around my body like a holy garment of white light. Here is the face. The Father flowed through. Okay. Now, white light, conceived at the same moment. Remember, wheels within wheels, past, present, and future exist all at the same time. So conceived at the same moment, 1910 years later. So we're talking about 1943. The white hair of the old man is the man today, 71.717629-year-old image of God, 28th of September 2015 is his age. All right. And the image of God with white hair like wool. His hair is not like that of other people's. It's like wool. And he was described like that from a small boy. Daniel 7:9, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, talking about the soul on the outside, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. That could be the Ute sitting in the Peugeot. Okay. In 7 verses of the King James 1611 Bible, the word comforter is used. The Old Testament is saying they have no comforter, while the 4 mentions in the New Testament, Jesus speaking, he or the Father or both will send the comforter, who will speak of Jesus and the Father and remain with you forever and teach you all things.
So there was no comforter from the cross all the way through till when I was born.
That's right.
Then the comforter was here in the physical realm the conception taking place 280 days earlier. 1910 years on from the resurrection.
It was the same date,
So,
1900.
That's why, going back in history about all these horrible things happening,
Yes.
right? Because the Jews have been in control right up until now.
Yes. As we read when we started today's program. Not for much longer.
Nine Friday.
All right, so look, I'm going to check the time. I'm sure we're way over.
Well done, mate.
This
Keep
is
going.
like-
This is nearly finished. Well, that bit there.
Yeah, all right. This because Ecclesiastes. What we're doing is we're reading the Old Testament, the 3 verses from Ecclesiastes 4:1, Lamentations 1:9, and Lamentations 1:16. Then in the New Testament, the 4 verses: John 14:16, John 14:26, John 15:26, and John 16:7.
Written by Martha, by the way.
Yes, the book of John was actually written by Martha. That's why she didn't.
And you'll notice in all of the accounts of the crucifixion and all the terrible things happening, it was always Martha that ran out to see Jesus coming when he was coming.
When the message
Always.
is on the road.
And yet suddenly, when it's surrounding the cross, Martha was not mentioned once.
No.
Not mentioned around the tomb, not mentioned around the cross. Why? Because she, your mother, sweetie, was my wife.
That's right.
They've just written Martha right out of it.
Yeah, have to get
And then, the first one, who am I going to come back to see, this asshole?
Mary.
Let's say they said to her right now, would I go back to see Michelle Nye?
No.
No. Who will I come back to?
Me.
Yeah. Why? Because you got my credit card.
This is true. All right, so now we're going to add all of those numbers that I just read from the verses as 4.1, 1.9 plus 1.6 equals 7.16. Then we're adding 4.16, 4.26, 15.26 and 16.8. I've got scrambled here, but anyway, you know what I mean.
All those numbers, you add them up
like
4.1, 1.9, 1.16, 7.16, 14.16, 14.26, 14.25,
15.26. You got scrambled too. Anyway,
and 16.7. It'll all come up to 67.54, which is the area
of the larger part of the
piece.
Shroud of Turin, which has the image.
Yeah.
And it means image, vein, show, a representative figure, illusion, resemblance. Hence. Yeah. All right, now you take over.
I want to show you something though.
Okay.
You can read that bit there. I'll end it there, but I do want to go into some drawings I was doing this morning to have a little look-see.
All right, let's finish this here. The larger area is 6754.5, and of course it's 675. Oh.
I want to show you something here. Image. Right, so we're going to undo. And what we're looking at there, I'll just zoom in on it. This is a close-up of my face, right, which you took a picture of, and this is what the Pope's seen, right? So there it is in a bitmap, and I've just zoomed in. I want to show you something. So that's my face. We're going to I have to do it another way. Select all. There we go. Invert colours. You see that the eyes turn red. When you take my face today and you make a negative image of it, my eyes, which are blue eyes, turn red. So we're reversing it. You take the image on the shroud, the eyes are closed with one coin on the left eye, I think it is. Yes, it's the left eye. Right? Which gives you the date of Pontius Pilate.
Yes, 1929. Oh, rather 29.
AD 29.
Yeah.
So, if the eyes are open, you would see they're blue eyes.
Right.
So, this is a negative. This is how it would look on the image, right? So, we go down to here, we go invert colours, and they are blue eyes. Do it again, we'll put it there. There's a little bit of blue coming through. There you go. I'll change it back, undo, and it becomes red. We go back the other way, the eyes become blue. The shroud would indicate the same thing. So the red eyes is the anger, which is now in the book of Revelation. So, are you happy with all that? What are we up to, by the way?
Well, we're ending it with the image, the ghost, and we're way over. Way over.
Oh.
And, yeah. Okay, guys. So the big deal was the information this morning about Abel.
Yeah.
And sorting it out, Cain, etc. The sin of, it was Adam who fell, and Cain was the product of Adam.
See, all women are
Lowercase.
related to Eve by the mitochondria. That's a genetic fact.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All women.
Right.
So therefore, Eve, she supplied this time, because she's descended from the soul and through the flesh of Seth, comes right down, the Son of God, right? Now she has to produce the actual Son of God in the right way around, if you like, because she come from the blood, she's now of the flesh, right?
Yes.
So that enabled God, myself, to go in and create the little baby that would grow up to be Jesus with 23 chromosomes of the female, of the flesh now, because she's now descended through Seth of the male line, right? And the female, being a virgin, she supplied 23 chromosomes, and the father 1 Y chromosome.
Right.
That is why the base of the pyramid is 25 years wide. That's why all the measurements of the solar eclipses are on the 25-degree latitude.
Yes.
That's why the King's Chamber is on the 50th level of masonry. Why? Northern latitude, southern latitude, 50 degrees apart.
Right. And even the question, why?
And why?
All right, let's go. Oh, we're ending on the... Okay, your age. Later, gators. Bye, guys.